welcome back to my garden. My name is Jen and I'm located in Pennsylvania Zone 6B. In today's video, I am super excited because I'm going to share our progress on our front flower bed that is over 100 feet long. Before it starts to rain, let's go ahead and get started. I want to go ahead and share where we are exactly with this project and what needs to be done, but we are making a lot of progress. So you can see we tied in the flower bed that goes along the driveway into the new flower bed. And so far I've only planted one thing, and that is this little Harry Potter, what is this called? A contorted filbert? I believe so. Yes, the contorted filbert. We have a dogwood that's already established in the bed, and then when we go down further, there is a birch that is also already established and will be part of the bed. So you can see right along here, this is how far we got with laying the compost. I think instead of walking through the compost in my flip-flops, I'm gonna walk around. And it's already starting to drip just a little bit. Hopefully I can get through this video before it starts pouring down rain. We're supposed to get 2 inches of rain tonight, which is crazy. We've had so much rain. This is the progress that we've made. And I know that some people have been interested in how we suppress weeds and what kind of weed barrier we use. And what we use is cardboard. So you can see right here, we use cardboard that is not shiny, doesn't have any tape, and does not have any stickers on it. And we lay it down in a very thick layer, and then we put the compost and or garden soil right on top of the cardboard. We have found that this has been the best way to suppress weeds. Hey, if you're enjoying this content, please click that red subscribe button down below. It's free for you and it really helps my channel grow. I appreciate it, and I would love to have you be part of this community and to see all the future projects that we have in my head come to fruition on the property. You can see right here we have the orange line showing the edge of the bed, and it's going to loop all the way around this tree. Now last night we did have some help and we started putting in a little berm. And what this berm is going to do is, this is where we're going to lay big boulders along the edge of this garden to kind of keep the soil from just washing down the hill. It's hard to see, but we are on a pretty steep slope right here. So I want the rocks and boulders to be semi-flat and have a nice solid shelf to sit on so they don't slip and slide all around. Here is one of my most favorite trees. This birch is beautiful. I love the bark on it. Such amazing texture. All right, let me go down the hill a little bit. All right, so here the garden is from this view. So you can see all this compost. We need to lay more cardboard down and come all around here. We need to lay the stones, and then we're gonna have to swoop up around with more compost. So this tree is going to be completely enclosed in the garden bed, and it's really gonna tie this whole front garden bed together. Having a tree at the end right there and having this tree right here, two really good focal points that are already established. I think it's really gonna help make this bed make more sense initially as the other plants that we start putting in start to grow. And then walking around up here, this pathway, we're leaving this pathway large enough for a golf cart to go through. Eventually we'll have some sort of a path put in or a sidewalk, but for now we're just going to let it be grass. I'm gonna walk up around this side, up through the path, and then we'll take a look at the foundation bed. So right here's where we stopped. We are gonna lay a little bit more compost down. I think this is a little too shallow. I want it to be a couple of inches thick, and hopefully we can get the compost laid sometime next week and get the boulders done, and then I want to get to planting. I did already actually start purchasing some of the plants that were in the garden design. I have 3 junipers that need to go around this tree. I have my statement piece. I can't remember what the name of the plant is, but I have a statement centerpiece plant that's gonna go right here. And then I have the 3 junipers that are gonna go around that tree as well. All right, now I'm standing in the driveway. Please ignore the wood and the shovels. And there's gonna be weeds too. We've been having so much rain. I haven't been able to really come out and maintain the garden like I want to. So you're gonna see weeds, you're gonna see that it needs to be edged. But hey, this is real life gardening, this is how it is. And even though it is imperfect, I still think it's absolutely stunning. And speaking of stunning, this tree. Oh my goodness. This tree is gorgeous. And I have a beautiful spirea right here. This spirea is a candy corn spirea, and it's about twice as big as what it's supposed to be. So it's really happy in this location. And surrounding this evergreen, we have a whole bunch of peonies just about ready to bloom. They're all budded up, and they are all going to explode next week. And there is nothing like the smell of peonies. I absolutely love it. So excited for peonies. Wish they stayed around a little longer, but that is okay. Here's a evergreen, and then along the front of the bed, we planted 3 Green Mountain boxwoods. And then I did put a little bit of ajuga ground cover here, here, and here. So that's all going to fill in. And I'm going to come back in with some seeds. Our tulips are definitely done, but I want the growth just to die back a little bit more before I cut it back. And then up here on the upper level, we have some ladies' mantles, some salvia, some speedwell, and a whole bunch of daisies that are going to come into bloom very soon. This is another type of spirea. I can't remember the specific name of it, but it gets these beautiful white flowers. And I love using these spikes of flowers in flower arrangements. As soon as this shrub is done blooming, I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna give it a real hard prune. And here's a Weigelia, surrounded by some feverfew that I seeded myself. They're gonna be sweet little white flowers with yellow centers. A whole bunch of ajuga. We have this hydrangea that I transplanted last year that has flushed out beautifully. Behind that is kind of hard to see. Let me go up and show you. Right up here we have some Niagara Falls grass. We have, what is that, a 9 bark? And there's a rose that's going to be in bloom soon as well. And then right here, we have a false cypress that's going to get nice and tall. And I just added these penstemon into the landscape, and look at how that color plays off of the beautiful blue of the spruce. Perfect. You want to make sure that when you're designing a garden, you want to have a whole bunch of different colors and textures. So the colors that you usually want to have are red, which we have, blue, which we have, yellow, which we have, and green. And there's another big hydrangea that is going to be all budded up sooner than later. And then we have another peony that is ready to open up. And I should probably cut this and take it inside before it starts raining. Now you can see that I have a whole bunch of ajuga with a little bit of sedum ground cover in this flower bed. And I love ajuga ground cover because it is so dense. You can see how tight the foliage is, so it's really hard for weeds to pop up through this ground cover, and that's why ajuga is my #1 ground cover to use in my garden. Here's another hydrangea. Here's a boxwood that needs trimmed up very soon. And I also just planted these 3 little pincushion flowers. This is the first time I've ever bought and planted these flowers, and I cannot wait to see how they grow. They are just absolutely adorable. And I think that purple right in front of this green hydrangea is a perfect match. Now right over here we have a blank space. So I have to do a lot of weeding and planting. I have another green boxwood right here that I want to dig up, and I want to shift and put it right here. So then I have a more of a cohesive swoop of boxwoods. You can see I have one here. I'm gonna have one right here. Then I have one here. And then up there are the 3 that we planted right along the front. So there's gonna be cohesion within all of this cottage chaos. I like a little bit of formality, but I also love all the fluffiness that a cottage garden has to offer. And here is another spirea. Now, I know that these 2 colors are very similar to each other, but this shrub does darken up with time. So there is going to be more of a contrast in between this tree and this shrub than there is at this moment. And back in here, you can see there is a whole bunch of Dara that is popping up, and that just seeded itself. That's gonna be beautiful. We have some more perennials with a little pop of color, so a little swoop of these. And then we have a boxwood amongst a whole bunch of weeds to punctuate the corner of the flower bed. And if I swing up here, definitely some more weeds. This totem pole holly is coming out as soon as possible. We're gonna plant something else here. And we have a whole bunch of bee balm, and this really took off. I grew this from seed last year using the winter sowing method, and look at how full and lush that's gonna be. Oh my goodness. That is gonna put on quite a show. Here's the view. You can see that the blue and the yellows and the pinks and the greens all play off of each other. I have a whole bunch of space right here to add more cottage charm. I have all this space here where I'm going to be planting hundreds of zinnia seeds amongst other types of seeds, along with hydrangeas and some grasses, some boxwoods. I cannot wait to share how all this comes together. I am so excited and so happy that we decided to add this big, huge flower bed in the front of the yard. In the future, it's going to allow for pathways and terraces to come off this bed and go down over the hill. I hope that you've had as much fun watching this video as I've had making this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.